All right, welcome back to Project Seawolf. So I've got a buyer for the motor on board today. He is detaching some parts on the motor as we speak. And shipping it across to Maryland, across the country. Pretty amazing. He came all the way out here to pick up this motor. So we don't have a crane, we don't have a boom truck, and so we're gonna have to get really creative about how we take this motor off, and it's definitely gonna have to come off in parts. It's huge, heavy. So yeah, first step is going to be taking off as much of the small stuff as we possibly can, and then yeah, moving on to the big stuff like the transmission and the actual engine block. Not sure how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna try our best and see what we come up with. As I just mentioned, we spent the first half of the day removing smaller parts on the engine and some of the tubing. He wanted all of the wiring, tubing, and bolts that were attached to the motor, and also the paperwork, so got that all sorted out. Okay, for a little update, we have taken off most of the hoses around the engine and the wiring. Pop things off. Next we're going to be looking at the transmission, taking off the transmission and then hauling that out. And that involves taking these bolts off all around, and yeah, basically we're just lightening it up as much as possible so that we can possibly get it out without a crane. And so yeah, taking off as much as we can. Yeah, it's been quite the process. Alright, we've got the boom up now and the transmission is loose, so we're going to try to take the transmission off using the boom and a block. Couple 100 pounds, I think. For the transmission, we tried lifting it out with just a rope, or just taking some of the tension off at least. Alright, so all of the weight is now on that board for the transmission, and we're working on a way to use the come along to get it all the way out. Or at least up to the barn door so we can make a better plan. We went out to the hardware store, got a new wrench set and a come along, and the come along helped get the transmission up and out of the engine bay. Very handy.
Modeling what this is on the back.
Wow. And that came out of here. Okay, so here's this end of the engine that I haven't seen before. And pretty good. And that's where it couples to the prop shaft. And we were able to team lift the transmission as soon as we got it out here, up into the cockpit. But the come along was definitely helpful getting it out in the first place. We then attached the transmission to the boom and let the boom take the weight as we raised it up and eventually lowered it over the side of the boat. We had to lower it with the rope because the come along wouldn't reach. Ooh boy, alright, so there it is down on the ground, and we lowered it down by letting out on a rope around the boom, and it held up just great. We wrapped this halyard to take up the weight, and it turned out to be a pretty good idea. Whew. All right. Okay, so we got a chain that's through a bolt there and hooked there. So maybe it should work out okay. We got 2 halyards helping the boom, and let's see if the boom can take the weight with the come along. Yeah, but to get it the rest of the way out, we might need the 4-to-1 pulley system. Right now we're just seeing if the boom can take it. Next we attached the engine to the boom and tried to use the come along to lift the engine. However, the engine proved to be a bit too strenuous on our current setup with the boom, and the come along seemed to also, well, just wasn't comfortable putting the entire weight of the engine on that come along, and we came up with a better plan. Yeah, so the boom and the halyards proved, well, they were stretching out a bit too much, so we're gonna come up with a different way to get the engine out. Probably put a cross beam across there and then ratchet it up and close these doors off, and then at least we'll have some more room to work and take things off if we need to. But also, yeah, come up with another plan to get it up and out. Just don't know how it's all gonna go. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. Alright, we're ready to call it a day for the first day of engine extraction.
Yeah, well, I mean, every little bit helps, you know.
Yep. Got the transmission out. The engine's still gonna be a pig to figure out. Everything all organized. The boom doesn't seem to be doing so well with the weight of the engine, so we're gonna work on getting some timbers across here and at least like picking the engine up and out enough to be able to work better on it and figure out how to get it through the companionway. So yeah, I think that will be a tomorrow thing. Well, if you're learning anything from these episodes, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And if you really like the stuff that I'm putting out, you can head over to the Patreon. I'm giving away shirts. I've delivered a couple of shirts in the past few days to a couple of new patrons this week. Fantastic to see the support coming out of basically thin air. Like, super cool to see the people engaging with the channel and wishing me well and helping out getting the boat back in the water. Yeah, thanks to the patrons who've already pledged on the Patreon. I've got their names up on the screen. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to inch this motor out of here one step at a time with timbers tomorrow. Hopefully. Haven't figured out how we're gonna get it over the edge, but gonna take some engineering to do that. All right, thanks. See you next time.